Coming at you from my 1983 office job, apparently. Man, the economy is so great. I'm sure it'll be like this forever. Yeah, just fax that over. I'll get right on it. Sexism in the workplace, but even more blatant. What a time. But the fashion is great. Yes, I know how needy you are. Hello again! So this week we are going to do a good old-fashioned hair tutorial. So when I want to curl my hair, I do it using one of three methods. The first is pillow rollers, the second is using socks, and the third is some bastardized version of the curly girl method. Today we are going to be focusing on the first one. I love using pillow rollers because they are a great way to achieve a nice tight curl without using heat products. And when I use them, I use one of two styling methods to set the curl: a foaming wrap lotion and a classic wet set. I use them interchangeably. I've always been curious about what it would be like to compare and contrast them, see the differences, put them head to head, if you will. Boo. Will the curliness be different? Will one be easier to brush out? Does one have better staying power? Will they look exactly the same? I would like to find out. So this evening I will be doing one side as a wet set and one side using the foam lotion. We will see what the results are. And not only that, if the rain holds off, I'm planning to walk by the river, and when I come back, sort of check back in and see how they withstood the Devon autumn. So I will leave you here and see you this evening. Welcome to Celinda at night. So to keep the scientific integrity of this process, I will be doing the wet set first, so there's no bit of product that might be getting on to the other side. When I do a wet set, I start from dry hair. I have thick hair and I have a lot of it, so doing a true wet set is never gonna work for me. So what I use instead is this old heat protect spray that I ran out of. I use this to make a mist on my hair. So let's get started. I'll start with my bangs first. So when you're doing a curler set like this, it's always important to curl under and not outwards. And I know most of you probably know that, but when I first started doing this when I was 13, I made that mistake once and never again. So if this can help even one 13-year-old out there, then it was worth saying. It's also really important to get the end specifically, because you don't want a curly midsection and a limp end. The last thing I do when I do a wet set is I give it one final spritz. When I'm using wrap lotion, I use the classic, the Motions foaming wrap lotion. So we're going to start the same way with the bangs. Gosh, my cheeks are getting so red during this. It's usually a lot more cozy in here, but obviously I have to have my bright light to film. I'll show you when I'm done. I mean, besides the product itself, the technique is pretty much the same. Get your product, saturate your strand. I might have actually done a little bit too much on this one. Wrap the ends, roll it under. Get it nice and tight up at the crown of your head. Bring your two little prongs up and cross them over. Then pull them tight, sort of tuck the ends under. All right, the curlers are in. Before I go to sleep, I put on this. It's just like a jersey tube basically over my curls to help keep them in place overnight. But yeah, protect those curls, and I'll see you in the morning. So much nicer. Good morning. Let's get this fabric off of my head. As you can see, they are pretty intact and not really jostled around too much. And that is the benefit of sleeping with something covering your curls at night. evolutions today. Okay, let's get to taking these guys out. So I think I'm going to do it one side at a time, just like how I put them in. So when I take them out, I try to hold the curl and slide the curler out. There we go. All right, the wet set is out, and let's get started on the foaming wrap. Initial reactions, you can see that the foaming wrap lotion, the curls are much tighter against my head, and the wet set curls are a bit more relaxed. My curls are still ever so slightly damp, just a morsel. So I'm gonna go in with a diffuser and just get a little bit more heat in there to finish off drying. Looking like Shirley Temple, which I'm not gonna lie, I am kind of digging. I've always loved and wished I had really tight curls and really short hair. You can see the curls are still tighter on the foam set side, but the wet set side is cascading down and sitting a lot nicer even if they are more relaxed. So I think it's time to start breaking these up. Breaking this up on the wet set side is really nice and easy. We'll let that sit and get to work on the foam set. Definitely a bit more work and a bit more tangly. Oh, yeah, I can't really run my fingers through that. Midway result, tighter curls, softer curls. All right, then I'm gonna go in and start brushing them out with a comb. Okay, now that they're getting a bit more brushed out, they're looking more comparable. I'm not quite done yet. I'm gonna go in with my big paddle brush and brush it out even more, try to smooth it down, make it into a style. I wasn't really expecting this. The wet set would provide a shorter curl, and maybe that just has to do with how much puffier the foam set is, but yeah, I'm pretty surprised. I definitely have two different hairstyles going on here, with the wet set being a much smoother, more Veronica Lake-y type wave. It was also really easy to set into these lovely waves. I just brushed under a few times. The foam set is a lot poofier, which is not worse or better, it's just different. I've used both of these styles, but seeing them next to each other really shows me how different they are and will really help me make informed decisions in the future. But we are not done yet. To give these both one final test, we're going to go on a little walk, get blown about by the wind, and see if either, if any, holds up a bit better. We will see. We will let that dry, and I'll see you on our little walk.
Sailing by the gently flowing river, they watch the golden sunset fade away.
So yeah, it is clear I have ruined my hair. It is kind of properly raining out here, or it's that Devon mist. But I don't care. What a spooky, misty, beautiful autumn day. So let's focus on that. Come on.
But tears are glistening in her eyes of blue. Her softly says is not for long the parting. When springtime comes, I will return to you. When the mockingbirds are singing
We made it! My hair didn't, and I'm okay with that. I never want to have a look get in the way of living my life. When I first left the house, I could tell that the weather wasn't gonna hold off, but it was so nice out and everything was looking so magical with the mist and the orange leaves that I was like, fluff it. I would rather go on this beautiful autumn walk than have curled hair. But honestly, before that, I thought it was really interesting to see how the wet set and the foam set differed. I must admit, recently I've been leaning on the foam set and doing that a bit more, but after this comparison, I think I'm going to do the wet set a bit more often. It just depends on what look you want to go for that day. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you could like it. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday. I hope you have a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!